Hello TCG and Lorcana enthusiasts, and welcome back to another Lorcana gameplay review. So anyways, this review is over my Aggro Emerald Steel deck that I did this past Wednesday, which I took to the Mario's second Luxury Lorcana Locals. So this anyways, I present this deck to round 2. Round 1, my opponent was apparently thinking we were playing Pokemon, so I got the bye. So I am playing, of course, an Aggro Emerald Steel deck. If you want to check out the deck, go check out the link in the description below for the deck profile. And then I'm going to be playing against Sapphire Amber. Ugh. So a very mid-rangey deck, where my deck is more about spilling out guys with a lot of lore on them. So anyways, this, of course, comes from Mario's Twitch channel. I'm, of course, like the last video, I completely muted the video so that, of course, I will be doing all the talking. If you want the original Mario himself audio, you need to go support Mario. So go check out his Twitch. I'll leave a link down in the description below to his channel. And also, if you guys actually want me to do more of this like gameplay review off of like games off of Mario's channel, then please let me know down in the comments below. If I hit 10 likes, I will do another gameplay review from the past Luxury Lorcana Locals. So, but you gotta let me know down in the comments if you guys want more reactions like this. Just not my decks, but more like my opinions on what I see here from the gameplay and stuff like that. If you want my opinions and my breakdowns and stuff like that. So give this video 10 likes and also leave a comment down below. So let's get started. So anyways, we're just rolling up some dice here. Of course, I roll up a 4 because apparently not all of the Vanguard dice have the symbols as the 6 here. So that is the 1. So I do win it. Now we were changing rulings for mulligans here. We're actually allowed to mulligan game 1. So anyways, I'm just throwing out some of the high level cards, some of the inkable cards here that I just don't want to keep in my hand because there's no reason for me to keep them as such early in the game. Cusco's, Mother Gothels, all that stuff is kind of just high-level stuff I don't want to keep it, and I also was pitching out like 3s that I don't really need. So I pitched out 5 here and then shuffled back 5. Of course, I made sure not to anger Mario with my shuffling this time as I shuffled everything back together. I kind of, for a second there, I thought I had not grabbed 7 cards. As we now go full screen here just for you all. But yeah, so I thought I didn't grab 7 cards, but apparently I have 7. So again, my opponent's on Amber Sapphire. So what Amber Sapphire is a mid-range deck. It plays around the middle. I'm more of probably a mid-range deck as well. So anyways, I'm going to start it off. I'm going to put out the Duke here. The Duke is a 2/2 and 1. I think I have a symbol in hand, but decide not to put it out. Symbol's basically a draw 1, pitch 1 for his steal. So anyways, he's going to start out with Stitch. This immediately tells me it's Amber, but I'm not sure what color. So with Stitch out, it means that Stitch Snowball is very much active right now on my field. So I was thinking about putting the symbol down. I do put it down here. Much like I stated in my deck profile, I'm missing my the only 2 drops I'm playing is Beast's Mirror and Flynn Rider. I think in my deck profile I may mention I wish I had at least another 2 drop in the deck. Maybe something like Cruella de Vil or anything like that, just so I had at least another 2 drops, just so I'm not missing my drops here. So anyways, we're going to have a Simba come in on Bodyguard effect. That way, of course, my Duke can't crash into Stitch, and then basically he's out of just a guy, and I'm already up 1 lore. The problem I also found with the deck a lot of time is that I also had hands where I had so much uninkable cards. So anyways, I'm going to bring down the Cheshire Cat again. If the Cheshire Cat happens to be banished, it'll banish whatever banished it, and it gains 2 lore per turn. So again, like I said, the majority of the cards, once you get to the 3 drops, the 2 and up, majority of my cards all in some way or another have a multitude of high-level lore. So again, that's what makes it like an aggro deck, because I can aggro up. So anyways, this is like Phil from Hercules. He's a supporter at 3/1. I'm not exactly sure why he's 3/1. But anyway, Simba's going to come running into the Duke here, knocking it out, taking, of course, 2 damage. My opponent here decides to play it like calculating down instead of where I calculate up. So I'm going to put a Kristoff in there. He's a 3 cost at 2 lore. Then I'm going to put down Tinkerbell, giving evasion to the Cheshire Cat. It doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to quest. Again, the Cheshire Cat can't do any, can't attack, can't damage anyone. So basically, in essence, that's all it does. Tinkerbell basically just gives something evasion, which is nice because what it could do is that the evasion ability gives me the ability to run into evade cards on my opponent's board that have evasion. So again, now I know it's a Sapphire deck because again, we have the Sapphire here, but again, he can still be playing the Stitch Snowball engine in a Sapphire deck just because how good Stitch Snowball is. So anyways, he's going to bring out another Phil here. I don't know the full name of this, but I'm just going to call Phil because that's what it was. That's his name in the Hercules movie. He's going to quest for 1 here. He has 4 guys at 1. It does give support here. I would question whether or not, I think he's going to run into I think he gave it to Simba. So he's going to run the Simba in because the Simba couldn't actually kill off the Cheshire Cat either way. So I'm just going to draw here. He is very close to also one of his Sapphire's best cards being Let It Go, where he spins a guy back into my Inkwell. And I'm missing a drop. So in this game, missing a drop is almost detrimental to you. There's very few decks, in my opinion, that can handle missing a drop, and Amber's one of them because of Lantern. But missing a drop is pretty detrimental, especially because now he's got 5 against my 4. Now, of course, I'm back now to 5. I believe Let It Go does put it in exerted. Not that it actually really matters in the aspect because I just unexert it at the beginning of my turn. But anyways, I do actually later on draw a 𝐒𝐍𝐶 later on in this game 1 that I should have dropped because of a lot of Sapphire targets, and 𝐒𝐶's ward protects it from targeting. So anyways, I'm going to tap out the 6 here. Actually, I think I'm going to tap out only no, I do tap out the 6. I think I'm playing like Genie. Yep, I'm playing the Genie now. So I'm going to put down the Genie. I'm going to spin back the Stitch because more or less I'm just trying to keep him off Stitch Snowball because I'm not 100% what version of this deck he's playing. Now, again, he's playing more mid-rangey. So, I mean, it's not bad. So I did miss my drop there, and truth be told, Let It Go does give me another card. But, yes, it's detrimental against... Yes, giving me another card off Let It Go is pretty detrimental, but the aspect is that removing big targets and big people off boards are pretty nice. This Maleficent is pretty annoying. It's a 3/6 that can quest for 3 lore. So, yeah, pretty annoying. Again, my deck does have some bounceability. Again, I'm playing Mother Knows Best, and I'm playing 2 the Genie that can bounce things back to his hand. But, again, I do have the Mother Knows Best in there. I could sing it. I'm just kind of deciding what I want to do here altogether. I am going to decide to swing at one of his Phils. The Phils do give 3 damage for some reason, but again, the Phil nor the Maleficent can target the Genie because he has evasive here. Maybe in truth I should have just probably quested. I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I'm playing into. So anyways, I'm going to play out Simba. Simba states I draw 1 and then I trash 1 here. I'm going to trash a whole new world. Right now, he's just so low on cards. I really don't want to refill his hand to 7. Again, a whole new world refills our hand back to full 7. I'm going to spin back the Maleficent just so I don't have to worry about a 3 lore being on the field. And then whether or not I'm deciding to, of course, put anything down on my Inkwell. I've already actually... I can't remember if I actually put anything in my Inkwell, but I was keeping the Hans in hand. It's a 4-cost Hans that allows me to quest for 3 here as well. Just trying to keep, again, my more aggressive advantage. But anyways, now we're going to put down the Hades. This is the Sapphire Hades. He spins something into the Inkwell, so the Genie's now going to be gone in the Inkwell. Again, I'm pretty sure it puts an exerted. It wouldn't matter if it puts an unexerted or exerted. There's no quick play of spells in Lorcana just yet. It's not Magic the Gathering just yet. Again, like I said, it's a more simplified version of Magic the Gathering. So now we have the Hades. The Hades is a 3/6 that quests for 2. But yes, he does spin stuff back. Now I have the 𝐒𝐍𝐶 in hand, and I have a Mad Hatter. The problem that I should have done to mitigate it, so as I crash the Simba into the field, just trying to keep him off of more guys, is I should have played out the 𝐒𝐶, because with the 𝐒𝐶 coming out, he couldn't do any of his effects on it. So instead, I play a Mad Hatter when I should have actually played 𝐒𝐶 there, because 𝐒𝐶 would have stopped what was in his hand. He had to Let It Go in his hand, and even if he had another Hades, he couldn't Hades or Let It Go my 𝐒𝐶. meaning that the only way to actually remove the 3 lore grabbing 𝐒𝐍𝐄 per turn is he has to physically remove it from the board. So he has to actually swing at it and then get the effect of 𝐒𝐍𝐄. Now, not that it really matters. Again, I think it's 10-6 or 10-9. He's going to sing Let It Go, spin back to the Mad Hatter. Again, Sapphire does probably have the better advantage against Emerald because, again, Sapphire's ability to spin everything back into someone's inkwell is pretty nice. Now, Ruby loves this because Ruby has such high-cost guys, but Ruby doesn't have wards. So anyways, I am going to bring out the 𝐒𝐍𝐄 that I should have brought out, and I do have a Kristoff, so I'm going to bring that out as well. Now I'm just going to spam the board with guys. Again, the only things he has to actually stop me, and again, you can see he has no hand. We are entering now into the possible mid to late game. This is when you mostly start losing a lot of your hand. Now again, he's up to 15. He gains another 5 per turn. I don't have a way. The only way I could actually win this is if I draw my Mother's Knows Best or my second Genie to spin the Maleficent back to his hand, forcing him to draw. So anyways, I'm just going to go to Simba to do the draw. I don't actually get it, so I'm going to pitch off that Hans here, and I'm just going to pass it here. I am going to play at the Hans, but the truth be told, I kind of realize as I'm just trying to figure out if I could actually even do anything, because again, the Maleficent is I could, now even looking back at this board presence here, now even thinking about it, I could have run. The problem was what I really wanted to do is kill the 𝐒𝐍𝐄, so the 𝐒𝐍𝐄 kills one of them. But problem is I couldn't really kill either of them. 𝐒𝐍𝐄 is 2-4, Hans is 3-3. So I can't actually get rid of a 3-6 and a 3-6. So one of the Hans dies, and then 𝐒𝐍𝐄 can't remove the other one. Again, I think if I had one more drop in there, I would have been fine. I mean, I think things could have been a little different here if I had actually had, say, one of my drops. Now, I kind of actually quickly could see this because I realized that he's got a 5 on the board, and he's got 15 here. Granted, a 3 and a 2 does win him the game, so I should have just conceded it to him and just scooped up the game too. I could have played that game probably more optimally. Playing out the 𝐒𝐍𝐄 instead of the Mad Hatter. That way, he couldn't have sung Let It Go. He would have had to do something else with Hades. Not that it was overall going to help right now in this point. I was behind on a lot of things. So, overall, Game 1 went in his favor really, really well. Now, Game 2 goes into my favor. I'm able to actually ramp my guys up onto the field and just ramp lore before he can deal with them. So overall, Game 2 goes to me, and then Game 3 was pretty exciting. It was close. I won't lie. Game 3 was extremely, extremely close, but like I said, there's so many cards in here that are non-inkable that it was kind of annoying that most of the time I ended up with hands with a bunch of non-inkable cards in it that I couldn't do anything with. And yeah, that's the problem with Disney Lorcana and the nature of deck building. You have to build in enough inkable cards to mitigate for the fact that you don't have. You have to have these non-inkable cards. Now, yes, there are cards that do demitigate the inkable nature. For instance, I think it's a Sapphire card that allows you to play. Oh my God, it's Ursula's like pin. It's the pin. So, anyways, I get a message there. Sorry. So anyways, I'm going to be putting back 3 here, drawing 3, and then I have to run off because my folks were dropping off food for me. So I immediately have to run off and go open that door. So let's just spin this ahead and let us begin. So anyways, we're going to start off with inking the Simba, doing the Simba to drop off the Duke here. Again, in this deck, it's very important that I do get my 1-drops off. Game 3, I don't get my 1-drop off, and my opponent starts just ramping up pretty fast. Amber is really good at getting a lot of little dudes onto the field. And again, this being Sapphire means he's got a lot of ability to ramp. Again, Sapphire's whole nature is ramp. Now, we don't really see a lot of ramp cards, so I'm not sure if he was playing any such ramp. Now, I do play at the Beast of Mir. This does come up throughout this game, and I think throughout Game 3 too. where if I don't have any cards in my hand, I can just simply tap it, pay 3, and draw a card. So it's not bad because, again, you just get to draw another card and have one more card in your hand, which either you can ink or you can play. So anyways, he's going to put out Be Our Guest. This allows you to look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You can add a character card to it, and then the other 3 get put on the bottom in any order that you wish. So he's just going to take his time here. He's going to choose the Hades here. So I didn't see whether or not he was playing the big Hades, the one that can shift over Hades, the amber one. But anyways, that Hades allows you to grab any character from your trash, your discard or trash or banish zone, and add it back to your hand. So I'm going to put out a second Beast Smear into the trash. Again, having more Beast Smears on the field really isn't helpful. Sometimes I think it is in the nature of the context of how you can do it. But anyways, because he doesn't have out the Simba this time, I can crash the Duke, knocking out this Stitch, and then basically I'm playing board control in an aggro deck. But with this deck's ability to grab such large amount of lore in such a quick accessance, playing board control in this deck isn't half bad because of the nature of being able to have it. So anyways, he's going to put out Stitch and Simba. So now he has Stitch Simba combo. Here, I'm going to draw, I'm going to ink a Hans, and then I'm going to play a Hans. So now there's 2 Hans in this deck. There's the Emerald Hans and the Steel Hans. The Steel Hans, the Emerald Han quests for 3. The Steel Han quests for 2, but deals 1 damage to anything on the board. So if you got a lot of little weenies, like in Stitch Snowball, that only have one will, they can all be knocked out. Again, the reason why in my deck profile I make mention that I don't mind the aggro method of this deck. I just think I prefer the more control variant. So I wish I had more of the heavy steel punching cards in here. Yeah, I have Big Tink in that, but I wish I had like Smash and Grab Your Swords, stuff to kind of deal that damage throughout. Especially because it would have been nice to deal on like the Maleficent and on the Hades, and then I could have like crashed like people into it. But anyways, he's going to quest here for 3. That triggers the bodyguard off the Simba because it now is exerted. Again, Hans, a lot of time you'll see I sometimes forget to actually unexert my Simba. Surprise, surprise. So anyways, this time I'm actually going to throw out the Cusco, and in essence, he can't get rid of it because now, thanks to the ward, I'm constantly going to be able to get 3 unless he's going to run a bunch of dudes into it. So anyways, I'm going to quest for Hans, I'm going to knock out Phil, and then I'm going to decide to quest with Simba. So I'm going to quest up for 3 here. So now, I now have, of course, now 6 lore on the board to his 2 lore. And I am dealing 1 damage per turn with this Hans every time he quests. So in essence, I can start putting a little chip damage here and there. And again, these decks are 60 cards, so he doesn't know whether or not I'm playing like Grab Your Swords or Smash or Fire the Cannon, the more steel control cards in this deck. Now, I wish I really was playing some of those steel control cards because that would have been pretty nice on game 1, like the Smash a Maleficent or Smash the Hades, and then run, say, a Kristoff into them and knock one of them out. I don't know if I would have won the game then, but at least I could have at least prolonged my death. But anyways, he's going to take 1 damage off that Simba. I'm not exactly sure why he thinks he took 2 damage off that Simba, because my Simba does only 1, and most of the time he counts down. Beats me. But anyways, we're gonna cycle here. Now the one problem with like playing up the bouncing cards like this Genie is because I don't really want to give him too much bouncing. Hades always comes down and adds a card. Now, I'd rather bounce the bodyguard, because then I can always just crash into a guy. So anyways, I'm just going to quest up to 10 here, and then I'm going to deal the 1 damage to the Stitch. Again, there wasn't really a great choice there for the Genie. I didn't want to bounce the Hades, even though maybe I should have, because the aspect is, if I bounce the Hades, it's a non-inkable. I think it's no, it's an inkable card. This is or I'm not 100% if that's the I know the 7 cost Hades is non-inkable. So whether or not just bounce that back to his hand, and if he wants to play it to get another guy, go right ahead. Burn half. I think he's a cost of like 5. So burn 5 of your ink to play him again. Over, say, that Simba. But anyways, now we have the Maleficent coming down here. Again, now I have no cards in hand, so I'm going to be drawing into 1 card, that means if it can inkable or I can remove it. So anyways, we're going to just crash the Han here. The Hades is a 3/3. My Hans is a 3/3. So he's going to quest for 1 here. Again, he's just keeping away that Hans' ability, because if I start, chip damaging up Maleficent down to the 3 damage point, or heck, even the 2 damage point, it doesn't actually kill the Cusco. So I'm going to do Mother Knows Best. I'm going to bounce the Maleficent back to his hand, basically, in essence, keeping off of it. I'm going to trigger the Beast Mirror here, to draw 1 here, and then I'll be questing here for 5. And again, my Genie has Evasive, and Cusco has Warn, and Cusco is a 2/4. So, essence, next turn, I win it. Now, that's mattering whether or not he doesn't have, if he has the 7-cost Hades, or if he has, like, Let It Go, anything to spin the Genie away. Again, he can spin the Genie away. He can't target the Cusco. So, either way, I'm still getting 3 lore. Now, you can see here just how the nature of how aggro this build is, because I just gained so much lore so quickly. So, if my opponent can't keep the lore up, or can't keep enough bodies on the board to gain lore, I just speed lore pretty quick. As you saw, my 2 up all have at least 2 lore to them. So I'm gaining almost 2 lore per turn. The 1 costs are all 1 lore, and then once you hit 2 costs, I hit all my good lore hitters. So I just aggro from there. So I drew in the big tank for turn, so I'm just going to trigger big tank. I'm going to knock out the Stitch. In essence, now he only has a 2 cost. He can quest for 2, but it's not anything amazing. So anyways, he's going to take the damage. Now, yes. Now, funny enough, I think it's a 3 damage Hades, so he actually can't knock out the Cusco here, and there's no way for him to win. He'd have to destroy the big tank, which I think is a 4/5. He has to remove big tank, and then Hades has no way to punch over Cusco. So, game 3 goes to me as we shuffle back our decks, and then, of course, side in. I'm just going to show here how many cards did I side out, or put back in my deck. Okay, so it looks like I put 3 back. Now, in this game, I lose my 1-drop. My opponent decides to go first. Again, he somehow gets his 1-drop. And I have a bunch of non-inkables in my hand. That's what I drew. I think I have double, I have double Whole New World and just a bunch of non-inkables in my hand. And it felt pretty bad. It felt pretty bad. The majority of my hand was non-inkable stuff. So anyways, he's going to Simba, and now he's up on it. Next turn, he'll be up to 3, while I am sitting here trying to wonder where anything of my stuff is. Thank goodness, I somehow drew the Beast Mirror. Not that it's going to help me right now, because, with a handful of non-inkables, you can't exactly use the Beast Mirror. And again, I miss also my 2-drop Flynn Rider. Again, I think I would probably take out the Beast Mirror in my deck, and I'd probably throw another 2 cost in the deck, being at least 𝐒𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐂𝐒 de Vil, so I'm not missing a 2-drop. And being that 𝐒𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐒𝐒 de Vil bounces something back to my opponent's hand, it's not bad. Again, I'm missing a lot of stuff. Anyways, I did draw into a Flynn Rider, funny enough. So I'm going to go 3. I'm going to put a Cheshire Cat. Because my guys have so much high lore, and right now his guys are little weenie lore. 1 lore, I do have the ability to at least try to gain lore back pretty quick. Now, maybe I should have not put the Hans into my Inkwell. Maybe I should have kept him on my hand next turn to play the 4 cost, so that I then can quest immediately that next turn for 3. In essence, next turn I quest for 2. I put down a Hans, I have 3. Then if he doesn't decide to kill the Cheshire Cat, I will then be questing for well over 5 lore a turn, and basically in essence catching up. So now I'm going to bring out the Hans that likes to do 1 damage to stuff on the board. So in essence, I can just start plinking off stuff here. Because again, if he wants to kill the Cheshire Cat, one of these guys has to go down for the Cheshire Cat to go down. And I have felt like going first in this game is very important. Automatically beginning with your ink and then immediately beginning with all that is pretty nice. Now, I think I run a Hans into someone. If not, I really should have probably considered running a Hans into someone. for it. But again, I totally forget to restamp my 𝐒𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐿. So anyways, I'm going to pay 2. I'm going to bring out Flynn Rider here. The rest of my hand is also non-inkable, so I mean, it's not great. I think I have, like I said, I have 2 whole new worlds. Anyways, I'm going to pay 3 for Mother Knows Best. I'm going to, I probably should have spent back, what am I going to spend? Okay, so yes, I do spend back a blocker, a bodyguard. So what I should have done here is forget the lore, swung the, him into Simba, forced, and then deal the 1 damage to Stitch, and then I would still quite have the board presence I do. He'd have to bring out another blocker, or he'd have to come and kill the the Hans. I threaten with the Hans. So anyways, he's going to do Let It Go. He's going to spend a card into my Inkwell. He's going to spend the Hans. Again, thinking about it right now, watching over, I probably should have just swung the Hans into the Simba, because it would have knocked out the Simba, still done the 1 damage to the Stitch, and then there would have been no way he could knock out the 𝐒𝐍𝐿 there. I would have been on the advantage. So in essence, there would be a Stitch on the board, and that is it. A Stitch with 1 damage with a 𝐒𝐍𝐿 and a Flynn Rider. So nothing here. So anyways, I'm going to spin back the one and only Simba here. Most of the time, I think I maybe should have kept this until he threw out some of his big bombs. But the problem is, in some of his big bombs, it's kind of painful because the nature of that, I don't want to spin back a lot of his Sapphire guys. Like right now, why would I want to spin back a Hades that basically, in essence, would just put another guy in my Inkwell? In essence, it's not great. So I'm going to draw again. Maybe I should have put out that Kristoff and maybe made it as the Hades to be less of a target aspect here than what I did. Again, it was a little hard. I have a whole new world in my hand. I think I go for the big tink here because I think I probably could. Because what you want to do with a whole new world is you definitely want to be singing a whole new world. You definitely don't want to be playing a whole new world, hard casting a whole new world. So in essence, I put out the tank, and then next turn with my 1 card, I can sing a whole new world, and in essence, draw a whole new hand, and then I'd have a whole new hand that I can then play a whole bunch of ink cards off of it. Again, that matters if the Tinkerbell doesn't automatically just fly into my Inkwell. Oh, by the way, folks, it's flying into my Inkwell. But yeah, there's a reason why this card is extremely good for Sapphire. If you can get up to the lore, you can just spin big guys out of your opponent's hand, out of your opponent's area. So anyways, he's going to trigger, he's going to swing the Hades in, he's going to take another damage, he's going to pitch a card, he's going to pitch a Hades. Right now, he's got 4 quests on lore on the board, and I have 0. Again, hindsight's 2020, now realizing I should have probably crashed the Kristoff into a Simba, killed off the Simba, and dealt 1. I'm just kind of hanging on to this whole new world because I'm just not 100% sold on utilizing it. So I'm gonna play 5 here. I decided to do it. I can't really hold off any longer. I need a fresh new hand. And well, thank goodness, because I hate the fact that he's got another one of those. Now, should I have done it a turn earlier? Probably. Then maybe I would have maybe gotten rid of 2 of the Hades. Now, hindsight is 2020. I can't predict he's going to have a bunch of Hades coming down the board. But the problem is, like I said, a whole new world just gave him 7 fresh new cards. In essence, now he has 7 new cards that he can go through. So anyways, I'm going to put out a Hans. I'm going to put out a Simba. I'm going to draw here. I'm going to pitch out the whole new world because I'm not using another whole new world right now. But in essence, now I'm up to 4 lore again. And he's up to 4 lore. I'm up by 1 right now. So in essence, if he can't get rid of these 2, I will always be up by 1 lore. Now mind you, my Hans is a 3/3, and mind you, these are 3 6s. So these will die to a Hans. My Hans will die to either of these guys, and again, my Simba is a 1/2. The Simba ain't very standing very long. So anyways, we're going to play out the bell. This is also the bell that gains lore. +4 lore if you have 10 or more cards in your inkwell. Basically, in essence, this is OTK. You can OTK with this bell. And it also allows you to put an extra card in your inkwell per turn. So it's pretty nasty, especially because I gave him a whole new hand of cards. Oh, yeah, I couldn't do anything with it. Again, I would have never played it if that wasn't the card I drew, because I could have easily played out the Tinkerbell, then used the Beast Mirror. Oh, here comes our good friend, Rapunzel, healing up the Hades. Again, very strong card. Just getting him another 2. And then he's just going to quest here for 4. For 4. So in essence, I'm now up by 1 again. But now he's pushing me on a back foot. I have 2 Hades. I basically have 2, 4, and 6 right here on the board. And Emerald doesn't have a board wipe ability. So I'm going to pay, I think I'm paying the 6 here, and I'm going to put out the second genie. I'm going to spin the bell back because I really don't want the bell being on the field. That is basically an OTK kill card right there. I wish I had a Mother Knows Best. I really wish I did in this hand, because I could have easily Mother Knows Best to, apologies there for clicking. I could have Mother Knows Best, spun back Rapunzel, and put him on a 4-turn clock. Because I could have sung it with the Hans to spin the Rapunzel back, and it would have been a waste for him to put on another Rapunzel. And in essence, yeah, the singing comes down, and I have to do it. But again, I'd have 5 already here. And yeah, he can come, swing and kill, come in, swing, and yeah, then he could put down the Rapunzel. So there really wasn't a lot of great things to do here, folks. I was kind of pushed up into a board, and anyways, he's going to win here. He's going to pay 4 and put down the Eye of Fate, and then because items immediately dry, he can buff one of his guys by 1 lore, and he wins it here. Give credit to the man for putting down that and winning it, because I think I could have held off for 1 more turn if I was able to spin something back in his hand. It goes to him. Congratulations to him. He did really well. Game 3 was, it could have gone either way. I think now seeing I could have crashed the Hans into the Simba, done damage to the Stitch, and I could have had a couple of guys there. Yeah, he could have ran a Stitch into the Hans, but congratulations. What's that going to do for him? Crash into the Hans and knock out his entire field, and then I sit there with 4 lore. Overall, really good game. Really good game. Again, seeing how I played the deck, I still think I prefer to go a more control variant path. The problem is you definitely have to outspeed this deck, because this is a mid-rangey deck. It starts ramping and hitting around mid-range, mid-game. It's a mid to late game deck. That's where it starts doing all of its shenanigans. My deck, I would say, is also about mid-range. I can start out with 1-drops. I think it would have been a little differently if I had actually one of my 1-drops, if I was able to drop, say, a Simba or a Duke. And I was able to actually start questing a turn, and we were tied neck to neck. It maybe would have been nice. Again, like I said, I kind of wish maybe I had like Krell DeVille in the deck to be another 2-drop. Instead of just having the Flynn Rider. Maybe like doing 2 Corella and 2 then Beast Mirror, just so I could have the Beast Mirror interaction as well. But overall, really good games. Really good games overall. Learned some stuff about playing this deck all together and all of that. So let me know down in the comments your thoughts on this gameplay. What did I miss? What should I have done differently? Let me know down in the comments down below. My plan is to, of course, for these free Lorcana Locals, I'm just going to continually bring in a new deck, try out a different style deck, just so I can bring you different deck profiles, and I happen to get on these streams, then we will do gameplay. Again, if I don't get on the stream, Mario stream, then we won't have gameplay for the week. You'll have to smash this like goal on all the deck profile videos to get gameplay. But while you're down there commenting everything about this game, and as well if you want me to commentate more of these games, let me know down in the comments. Again, 10 likes and I'll start commentating more of these games from Mario's Twitch, Luxury Lorcana Locals. And again, if you guys will just type it out a bunch, we want that, then okay, I'll give you that. But while you're commenting all that down there, do make sure to like the video, do make sure to subscribe to the channel, and do make sure to hit the bell so you get notified when my videos go live for you. And we'll see you here next time on Mama Dragon's TCG.